The official synopsis for the second volume of the third-year arc is finally released, and there are a lot of things that could potentially make you hate Horikita and her class even more. Let's start with the very first sentence of the synopsis, where there is someone who talks to someone.
Today I intend to get the full truth out of you. No holding back.
At first I thought this was Shiraishi who confronted Tsubasa following the last scene of the Volume 1 third-year arc. However, from the way the Japanese alphabet was written, the word you in this sentence is usually used by a man in a rough manner, so this word probably came from Ayanokoji. And the one he confronted is most likely Tsubasa, because among all the students in school, Tsubasa is the only one who Ayanokoji believes is still hiding something from him. The reason why Ayanokoji suddenly chose to confront Tsubasa is easy to predict, because in the last scene of the Volume 1 third-year arc, Hashimoto, Morishita, and Shiraishi accidentally heard Tsubasa talking to Tsukishiro through the phone, and one of them probably told Ayanokoji about it, resulting in Ayanokoji confronting Tsubasa to get the truth out of her. However, there is also a possibility that this sentence was coming from Tsubasa. Remember, Tsubasa has another personality inside her who came out when she was facing Ayanokoji in the uninhabited island exam. It was a personality that came out when she tried to imitate Matsuo Akiro, and never appeared again up to this day. Even though the story of Matsuo Akiro is most likely a fake, Tsubasa should still have that personality inside her that she could use when she is in danger. The possibility of Tsubasa confronting Shiraishi seems more plausible if we look at the leak-colored illustration, where Tsubasa seems very serious while Shiraishi looks so calm and calculative. As for why Tsubasa suddenly confronted Shiraishi even though they never had proper contact before, it probably had something to do with Shiraishi's secret relationship with Ayanokoji. Since Tsubasa's job is to observe Ayanokoji, and since Tsukishiro must have given her all the data about the students in Ayanokoji's grade, Tsubasa should have known if there was something special about Shiraishi. And since the newly released synopsis said that Ayanokoji started to deepen his relationship with his classmates such as Shiraishi, Tsubasa who saw it must have chosen to take action. However, it's still best to just wait and see since we literally have no idea about their connection. The new exam has finally come as predicted, but from the way the synopsis told us, it seems we will not be getting the new island exam in this volume. There are only 2 hints that were given. A new test will start tomorrow, but details will be revealed in a week. Just by the rules alone, this new exam sounds really unique because the exam had started, but the detail will only be given a week later. We had seen several exams where the rules were explained on the day of the exam, but this exam started without the rules even being explained to the students. I think the closest exam we had seen so far with this exam was their first month in high school, where they were just left uninformed about the rules, but their class points had been deducted ever since day 1. Perhaps this new exam is similar, where they need to find every single clue from their teacher's words. There are not a lot of clues for the exam, but the students' reactions are just to be expected. Despite the vagueness, Class C immediately demonstrates their competence by discussing the possible types of exams and how to handle them. They prove themselves to be elite students who were worthy to be placed in Class A. It's also worth noted that Ayanokoji tries to deepen his relationship with his new classmates. Since Ayanokoji is already recognized as the leader, it seems he is trying to know his classmates better, because he should have realized that no matter how capable he is, it will be useless if his classmates cannot be relied on. Since Ayanokoji's class is currently the class with the least known member, we should expect the next volume to be focused more on Ayanokoji's new classmates, and we should also expect to see their illustration. On the contrary, Horikita's class is struggling to stay united. The damage from spring is accumulating, and tensions rise even toward Chabashira. This part of the synopsis is really interesting, because it feels like a throwback to the first volume, where Class D scattered and literally fell into the very bottom of the cast. Back then they tried to blame Chabashira for not telling them anything, but Chabashira could turn them down with her cold words. However, Chabashira has changed quite a lot ever since that time, so when the students feel upset because she doesn't tell them the content of the new special exam, the tension that had been stacking ever since Meizono's expulsion finally unleashes on everyone who can be blamed, including Chabashira. It's worth noted that Chabashira still hasn't yet gotten over Ayanokoji's transfer, so her students blaming her will only worsen her mental state. Class A current condition is proof that Ayanokoji's transfer really left a good smack on them. The last volume doesn't really give us enough drama around this topic, but now that everyone in school realizes how terrifying Ayanokoji is, Kinugasa obligated to give us at least a full chapter of their despair. It will be better if students from another class mock them because their greatest asset chose to leave them, but it should be enough if they finally realize what they have lost. However, Horikita's reaction is the most important compared to her classmates. Knowing Ika and the other, they will probably blame Horikita for hiding Ayanokoji's actual ability from them. While I doubt Horikita will tell them about Ayanokoji's actual role in their journey to Class A, the testimony from students such as Sudo or Kushida will bring the chaos inside the class to the next level. And that's why what Horikita will do will become really important for the future of their class. According to the synopsis, Horikita begins to show signs of growth by not handling the class and student council matters alone anymore. She turns to Karizawa, Kushida, and Ibuki for support. I found it really funny that Horikita ended up relying on a traitor, a student from another class, and a not-so-smart Karizawa K. While they are indeed part of her inner circle, it feels like Horikita already forgot about Hirata as another leader of the class. However, it's probably just the way the synopsis describes it. One thing for sure is, Horikita already got over Ayanokoji faster than her classmates. She asked for help to handle student council matters, and she also asked for Ibuki help, which probably have more meaning than we thought. Horikita probably tried to find more clues about the special exam using her position as student council president, and if she feels like she needs to talk to Ibuki, that means Ibuki is important for the next exam. There are at least two benefits to asking Ibuki for help. First, she is physically capable of doing physical labor, and if Horikita asks her for help, maybe Horikita needs it for an upcoming exam, such as forming a group for the island exam just like the previous year. Or, Ibuki could become a bridge for Horikita to ask for Ryuen's cooperation. This possibility sounds unlikely, because back in the Volume 6 second year arc, Horikita could ask for Ryuen's cooperation by herself. However, their condition has drastically changed. Horikita's class is now Class A, so there is no benefit for Ryuen to help them. Not to mention Horikita no longer has Ayanokoji on her side, so her bargaining power has drastically reduced. That's why Ibuki's role is needed to smoothen the cooperation. After all, both she and Ryuen know who their biggest enemy truly is. Whether Ryuen will accept or not is something worth waiting for. Since Ryuen had lost miserably in the previous volume, I'm curious if he is willing to put aside his pride and accept the cooperation. That's why this volume will be emotionally challenging, because we will dive deeper into Ryuen and Horikita's state of mind on how they get over their loss. Even though it's not clearly mentioned in the synopsis, I feel quite sad for Horikita when she's asking Kushida and the others for help, because if we remember all the special exams so far, Horikita always came to Ayanokoji for help and advice. When Ayanokoji left the class and the first special exam for the year was announced, Horikita could not even function properly, so Hirata needed to take charge of the class. Now Horikita is finally back on her feet, but the feeling will never be the same. The series is in top form. Emotions clash where students and teachers' feelings are all in turmoil. Just from the last sentence, I could say that the new volume will focus more on build-up instead of an actual fight between classes. There is still a chance that the new special exam is a preparation for a bigger stage such as the island exam, so we should keep the expectation high. With that in mind, let's hope nobody will get expelled in the next volume.